Hello everyone, here's my submission to the Dogeparty Hackcathon. So what I made was an image archive of all the NFT images on Dogeparty. I saved everything into one single folder, and then I submitted the hash onto the blockchain. And that way I made an immutable, forever storage or a snapshot of all the images on Dogeparty today. So before I get into the geeky stuff, let's have a look. So all the assets are listed alphabetically. Let's look somewhere random. So, okay, so this is quite self-explanatory. It goes through all the assets and shows the images. But there are a few things that I would like to point out. Let's see what we find. Okay, this happens sometimes. The file was not available. It was not possible to download it. I'm afraid these are forever gone. Sometimes the same NFT has several images, which is also perfectly normal. It simply means this one was uploaded first. I mean, this was the first issuance with this URL. Then there was a second one, and then a third one. So with assets, you can actually have an unlimited layers on top of each other, kind of. And that's why you have the same, that's repeating. Yeah, here as well, it looks like the same image, but it's actually a different URL, so it's probably a different resolution or something like that. So you can just scroll. I actually did scroll through this for several hours because I wanted to find out if I were uploading something not suitable for web or not. But yeah, you can simply just look through. Oh yeah, and this one. I assume this is an animated GIF, and when you downsize, sometimes, or when you do downsize, it becomes a JPEG, so it's not animated anymore. So then you can simply just click on the link, and there you'll see it. Okay, so let's say that you are a collector. Maybe your token is, yeah, just for the sake of it, Dogeparty, that's your NFT. You own some tokens, and you want to make sure that, you know, in case this URL goes down at some point, you still have a copy of it. So simply just click this link, right-click, save. Not too difficult, is it? Same if you want the downsized version of it, you right-click here. The next part that you should know about as a collector who want to preserve your NFT is this, the receipt. So I made a receipt that contains all the hashes of all the files, and the hash of the receipt again is what I uploaded here. So that means that if you want to be 100% sure that your NFT is preserved, you need one, you need the image file, and two, you need the receipt file. And you have to take good care of those. All right, so let's go to the next point. If you are creator of NFTs, and you likewise you want to just preserve or create an immutable proof on chain of your NFTs, I'd really suggest you simply run the same script with an up-to-date database after you created your NFTs. And that way you don't only preserve your NFTs, you preserve the entire Dogeparty ecosystem. So you do everyone a big favor if you do that. So let me first show you how. So the first thing you have to do is you have to run a node. Once your node is up to date, you run the script archiver.py. Yeah, okay, you have to put the parameters as you wish. So now I've put it at a test sample of 15, so we can run it together, and then we'll see how it goes. But first, these other parameters, I think they're pretty self-explanatory. But here, for example, if you have your own service like a block explorer and you want to have a copy for yeah, your own local copy of this. Once you can, of course, set the size however you wish. And these two, they were, well, not suitable for web, to put it that way. Let's leave it with that. Okay, so let's run the script. So now it's going to find 15 random assets and download only those. Very typical. It first looks at JSON links, and Dogeparty asset.info, they have like hundreds, if not thousands, of JSON files. So it randomly only found Dogeparty asset and one CoinDaddy, and all of those don't work. Actually, CoinDaddy should work, but not for this asset apparently. Okay, and then it downloads the images. Since there are only 15, it's going to be done very, very quickly. Okay, sometimes it hangs on a specific image. Okay, no, it's gone, done. And as you can see, 15 images, no, 15 issuances, which was the parameter I put here. 10 of them had an image URL, and all those image URLs were downloaded successfully. It did create the receipt, and this is the hash of the receipt, which then would be recommended to upload like I did here. Okay, 1 second, we'll look at the archive we just created. Okay, here it is. The originals are all saved in one folder, so if you don't want to upload it to web, you just don't. And this is what an archive with 15 images look like. I made it so that you just split it with the square root of the total number of images. So you have basically 4 categories with 4 each, or something like that. When you have thousands, you have like hundreds of categories with hundreds of images each. So it kind of scales that way. Not a big deal, but that's just the detail. All right, I think that was almost all, but there are a few things I would like to discuss at least. I wrote the list down here, considerations. You should have Pillow installed in order to run the script. There's no difference between Dogeparty and Counterparty here, so if you have a Counterparty database, you can simply run the same script and everything will work the same way. This one is quite important to keep in mind, that if, for example, I run this script, say that I don't like NFT X, I can change that image, and I kind of then have a proof that this image is not what it is, but I'm the one lying, not the host of that image URL itself, if that makes sense. So in order to something like this to work perfectly, you would need several node operators to run this archive, and then you'll get a consensus. And again, if the majority of nodes are honest, you'll see that, okay, the majority of nodes think that this is the URL for NFT X, or this is the image of NFT X, then you can be very confident that it is. One more consideration there is that if you are the creator of an NFT, and then you run this archive, and then you upload the proof from your address, then you sort of make a official proof, which is as strong as you can possibly have. So I really hope that NFT creators are gonna run this create archives and upload the hashes, upload the proofs, because it helps you as a creator. Like, it makes your creations immutable, but you also help the entire ecosystem. Okay, this is maybe self-explanatory, but old URLs you can't check if the image has changed or not. So this is a screenshot today. So if you see something from 2014, then you have to just you have to believe that it hasn't changed since. And that's something about Imgur, which is what most of the NFTs use, they do not change the image once it's uploaded. So the URL will always point to the same image according to them as a centralized service. So as long as you trust them, you know that this image has not been modified. And yes, maybe they are good actors today, but it's like everything with crypto, you want to be guaranteed that, you know, you don't want to rely on a centralized service like Imgur or anyone else for that matter. So that's also one reason I made this. So if they turn bad in the future, it doesn't matter because now we have the proof of what it used to be like. Another thing I've seen a few times is some JSON files that include a hash of the image, but there's no hash of the JSON file or the image on the blockchain, and therefore that proof is worthless. Okay, maybe too detailed, but something to keep in mind. All right, so then I basically went through everything, and thank you for still tuning in. And yeah, it was a lot of fun actually to do this project. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, there's just so much creativity on Dogeparty. It's like, I think it's the best NFT platform there is, really. It's like, yeah, well, what more can you say? It's hilarious. All right, bye-bye.